If you've been following me on Instagram or Snapchat, you know that I've been cleaning up the VMR wheels, getting them ready for the spring. I absolutely love these wheels. If you haven't already, you should add me on Snapchat and follow me on Instagram. Instagram has a lot of GTI content and Snapchat gets the cold start. So if you're missing out on those two, if you don't have enough of those two in your life, make sure to check those out. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about a question that I get asked pretty much on every single live stream that I've done. I actually went live on Instagram last night and someone asked, what's the next car you're gonna get after the GTI? Now, this is something that's kind of up in the air because for a while I've had my heart set on a B8.5 S4, that means a 2013 and up. I want a 2013 or 2014 B8 S4 in Estoril Blue with a sport differential with the Bang & Olufsen sound system and the Alcantara seat inserts. That may sound super specific, but that's my personal favorite spec of that car after looking through countless listings and stuff like that. So my answer to that question for a while has been B8.5 S4, but a couple other things are on the table, and this is where I wanted to get your guys' input and see if you guys have any ideas for next car as well. I'm looking for something a little bit more luxurious than a GTI. I'd also like to get out of the 4-cylinder game, so that meant I was considering the Mark 6 Golf R, and when the Mark 7... What the heck is in my eye? I was considering the Mark 6 Golf R and the Mark 7 Golf R when it came out, and I don't know, I want a car that sounds good, and I'm sorry if I offend you if you think your 4-cylinder sounds good, but I want something that sounds more exotic than a 4-cylinder. So either a 6, 8, I probably wouldn't go to a 10 or 12 because can't afford that. I have a couple other things on the table that I've been kind of peeking around at. One of them would be the S3, which is the new Audi. Those have depreciated a ton, and you can pick one of those up for low 30s now, which is cool because it's the same motor as a Golf R, again 4-cylinder, which I just said I don't want, but it's an Audi instead of a Volkswagen. I don't know, it's something that's on the table. They're really, really quick, they're fun little cars, but why would I get an S3 when I can get an S4, get the supercharged V6? Now, another thing on the table that's totally out of the realm of Volkswagen, Audi, that kind of stuff, is the CTS-V sedan. Again, it's a supercharged LSA, 556 horsepower, and they're right about the same price range as the S4. That might be $4,000 or $5,000 more expensive for a similar mileage car. The problem with that is you cannot find them in manual, and the automatic transmission is really an automatic transmission, whereas I'm not very particular about the transmission in the S4 because DSG is great and I could always get a manual if they're out there. Manuals are much less popular. Same with the CTS-V, except CTS-V is not a dual clutch, it's a torque converter automatic. My buddy Steve had one and it held up to the power pretty well, but I want something more interesting than a torque converter automatic. Another thing on the table would be an S5 instead of an S4. I'm kind of a 4-door guy if you can't tell by the GTI, so I don't know if I could justify having a 2-door, and I think the S5 trunk is just a little bit too long. I think the trunk on the S5 is just a little bit too long and it doesn't really look that great. The S4 trunk is the perfect length, you put a ducktail spoiler on it and it's, yeah. Finally, also on the table is either an E36 or an E92 M3. If I was going to go with the BMW, I'd probably buy an E36 M3. E92 is more modern and luxurious. Again, what I'm kind of looking for is a luxurious cruising car, and then eventually I'll get a project car and put an LS motor in it and go drifting in that. I actually would like to build an E36 M3 with an LS in it to go drifting, but that's a different story. I could buy an E36 M3 as a daily or an E92 M3 as a daily. I'm kind of partial to the E36 because I've driven Palins so much, and then E92, Tedward has one. It seems like a cool car, they just don't have any torque. I mean, 414 horsepower and 295 foot-pounds of torque, like that's pretty sad if you ask me. For a V8 too, like it should have some grunt to it, so I don't know about that. Then of course there's always, like, you know, used Mustang, used Camaro, used Corvette, all that nonsense. I don't think I would go down that route. I think that's, I mean, the CTS-V at least is kind of a European-esque car. I know it's not a European car, but it's kind of aimed to be like the M5. The Mustang and the Corvette and the Camaro are all just kind of muscle cars, and that's not really the vibe that I'm going for. And that's not really the vibe that I enjoy in cars. I don't know, that's just not my cup of tea. When other people have them and they're fast and cool, I mean, that's awesome, great for them, but it's not what I want for myself. So, kind of asking what you guys think. I want to know what you guys prefer, and if maybe you have experience with an S4 or an S5 or a CTS-V or BMWs. Mercedes options as well. I think the C63 AMG is a little too expensive to be in the same class as a 2013 S4 or a CTS-V. Well, I want to know what you guys think. So I'm making this video to kind of ask, what do you guys think? If you haven't already, check out the link in the description. We have stickers and IgnitionTube t-shirts for sale. Make sure to pick one of those up for yourself. Free shipping in the US. They're awesome quality products. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Take it easy, go out there and spread some positivity, and I will catch you guys in the next video.